So in this lecture, guys, we are going to cover the date functions and time functions, right? Before we do the functions, we understand that how basically Excel stores the dates and how the Excel, the what is the logic behind doing the calculations with the dates. Suppose you can add the dates, you can subtract the dates. So how it actually happens, okay? Uh, so the first thing which you need to understand, so first let's start with the shortcut keys. So we have you must know these things, this is very important. There is a formula called today. When you write equals to today and you press enter, you get the today date, the date which is in your machine, right? So that date is going to be picked up. So this is your today function. And similarly, if you say that today minus 5, for example, this will take you 5 days back, right? So 24th of April. Uh, you can also use the shortcut key to insert the date. Control plus colon. This is what you use. Okay. This is going to basically insert the today date. But this won't be a formula. I mean, insert today date. So if I go and let's say I say control and my colon, you see the date is coming. It's not a formula but a shortcut key, right? Similarly, you should also know that if you go and press control shift colon, you will have the time. So if you need the time, you can use the control shift plus colon. Just so control shift colon is to insert the time, present time, right? So if your computer has a wrong time, please understand it won't be, I mean the time will be wrong. It is going to pick up the time from your system, from your machine, right? Similarly, there is one more function which we use now. This is a formula actually. If you want the date and the time both, you can use the now function also. You can see here, I got the date, I got the time. So whenever you go and save this file, or maybe open or close this file, you always find this time changing on the auto mode, because this formula keeps on giving you the new time, right? When you save or you do, if you do any calculation and when the function works, this will also work. I hope you know that when you write any formula and when you press enter, it just, I mean, it is not only the one formula which Excel calculates, the entire all the cells which are a part which are using the formulas, everything gets calculated. So this is your now function and this is the today, right? That is, these are the, I mean, the shortcut keys. You should use it. Okay, so now we will go and understand that when you insert the date, for example, this is control colon, I press and I have the date. Now if you want to see that what would be the day, what would be the date after 5 days from now, you can add the 5 also. Normal addition subtraction you can do with the date, right? So if I say that what is the date, let's say 30 days back from today, you can say minus 30. So they can be added, they can be subtracted, right? And division multiplication you never do in the date, it does not make any sense. Now you should know that when the addition and the subtraction happens, actually how it is happening, because this is a date, this is not a number, right? I mean, when you look at this looks like a date, but the point is, because to do the calculation, these addition and subtraction, Excel actually stores these dates as number. You don't see that though, right? So for example, if I say equals to, select this cell and I press enter, what is the date coming here? 29th. Now let's go to the format here, or right click also, you can go to the format. Till I click on the general. See this, the date is now showing as number. Now this number 43212, it is not a random number. This number is allocated to this date, right? So what happens in Excel, if you have a date, let's say 1st of January 1900, right? If you go and say equals to, and if I check the what is the number given to this date, you find that this is the one number. So this is your first date actually in Excel. Anything which is beyond this, that is not going to be considered as date. For example, if I say this minus 2, because 1 will make it 0, so that's not required. So if I say minus 2, it should give me 1899, isn't it? Is it giving 1899 year? It's not giving you, you know. So you can't use the date which are which comes before 1900 century, 1st of January. And similarly, we have our 31st of December, double line. If you go and check this in the general tab, this will also have some number. So basically the process is that you start for counting from, you know, from this date, and so if you go and add 43,219 days, you know, this is what you will get, right? So this is how it is. Okay, so dates are always considered as numbers. In the background they are stored as numbers. If you go and add something here, let's say I add a date to this number, I press 1. Can you see that, guys? It's not coming. Why? Because there is no date after this. Have to understand this. Okay, so these are the things. Excel always stores the dates as number, and that is why we are able to do the calculations. If you want to find it out, let's say now let's do some questions, very general questions which every MIS person should know. So let's say I want to say that what is the date after 5 days from today? Okay, today means I'll mention here a date. Let's target one specific date, this date. Okay, so the next question is, what is the month after 22 days from now? Or maybe we can say that what is the date after 4 months from now? You want to check from today. And then what is the date after 2 years from now? From today, or any date, doesn't matter, right? This is your date. This is going to be our base for this exercise. Now if I have to check what is the date after 5 days, it's very easy. I can quickly go and press 5, right? You can see it says 4th of May 2018. Makes sense to me, right? But now the question is, for if you have to add something in terms of days, it's easy. But if you want to add the month, how you will add the months? First you go and convert the months into days, and that's a little difficult because some months have 30 days, 31 days, you know, so it's a complicated calculation. So rather than that, it's better if I just directly go and say that, you know, you just add 4 to it and then give me the date according to the month. I mean, because right now if I just go and say that, you know, this yellow cell plus 4, you won't get the month. You get the 4 days, you know, the date after the 4 days from now. So in order to do that, we got to know some functions. What are those functions? Let's start First I will introduce you to the date function. Before the date, we will talk about the day, month, year, and finally date. These are the functions. Let's start this. The day function we use to extract the day from a date. Very easy. You just go and write the day, and you select this serial number, actually date number, so you just select the date and press enter. There we go. We got the 29. You want to get the month, just go and write the month, select the date, and there we go. Year. So we go and select the date, you have the year. Now what about the date? Go and start the date function. You have 3 parameters: year, month, day. You can select the year, by going to any cell, or you can directly also write. It depends situation to situation. So I say my year is 2014, my month is 3, and day is 1. So month 3 means March. I'm talking about 1st of March 2014, right? That's how you can create the date. Now when you know this, the functions, you should also know how we are going to use that in the Excel. Learning is different actually, but you should be knowing that how these functions can be used. So we have a situation here that I want to check the date after the 4 months. So what I will do, instead of me going and calculating that what is the next month and how many days it has, and then what is the next to next month, and all that stuff, we will simply do one thing. I will extract the month of this date, which is 4, and I add 4 to the month, and then I'll put that 8 in this date function. That's it. So the first thing which I will do is I quickly say month, extract the month, and add 4 to it. So 4 plus 4, you got it 8. Now when you work with the date, if you don't have a good understanding on the date, you will get confused, because many people, they don't know actually dates are stored as numbers also. They just learn somehow the steps and they follow. Like in this case, what is this now? It doesn't make any sense. So you please make this formatting to a number. This is what it is, right? So you're going to extract the month, you add 4 to it. It should be a number. So make sure you also keep your eyes on the formatting also. If you need the date, good. If you need the number, please convert it. Now I got my 8, guys. See, if I got my 8, then what is the next thing? Well, the next thing is very simple. You already have the year 2018. You already have the date 29. Just add 8 to it. But how? This is the now thing. So now what I will do is, because I want to see the date, I go and use the date function. What is the year? My year is 2018. How do I know? Because this is 2018. But what if I change this 2019 then? Are you going to come back to the formula and change it? No. So let's make it dynamic. Why don't we just go and say that in this year parameter, I want the year from this date. So whatever the year you have in this date, this will come in the year parameter. So we have 2018 now. We already have calculated the month. We first extracted the 4 from here, and then we added 4 to it because we need the addition in the month, and the date remains same. So I go and say day. Give me the day of this, which is 29. Press enter, and there we go. So what is the date now? 29th of August. So which means that today is April, and after April, after 4 months from now, you know that this is going to be 29th. That is how it is. Same way, if I have to see what would be the date after the 2 years from now, we can use the date. We can say year, extract the year 2018, add to it 2 to it, and then month remains as it is, no change in the month, no addition, and then day. So you'll have the day and the month as it is, but the year will be added. So we have 29th of April 2020. So that is how all the things are going on. Okay. Now, the next thing which we want to do is, there are some more important functions in Excel you want to check. For example, let's talk about the network days. And network days international. What is it? This is very important. Now, if you have a date, let's say today, 29th. If I ask you, what is the date after 10 days from now? It's very easy. I know that you just go and add the 10 to it. But if I say, what is the date after 10 days from now, excluding Saturday and Sunday, which means your company doesn't work on Saturday, Sunday. So you actually have a working Monday to Friday. So this has to be, this is how, we need to plan the things now. So how you're going to do this? Okay, so I go and use the network days, start date, end date. Wait a second. This question, let me delete this for the time being. My mistake, sorry. I'm saying that we will do after this. How many working days you have in this year, or any 2 dates. When I say working days, excluding Saturday, Sunday. Okay, this is what I want to check. So on the one side you have a date called 1st of January, and on the other side you have a 31st of December, right? I want to check how many days we have. So I want to calculate now. So we go and say network days, start date, end date. If you have any holidays, you can select those holidays also. I'll just tell you, let's say we don't have any holidays. Our company says you work 5 days. 261 days are coming, guys, right? You can make the chart also. You can go and write 1st Jan, 31st Jan, 1st Feb, 28th or 29th, whatever as per the year, and then see that number of days. This is what you'll get. You don't have to do all this, because there is a ready-made formula for this. But now the company says that, all right, so I have started giving you the leaves also, right? So working days in this year, excluding Saturday, Sunday and leaves, for example. Now they said that, so these are the leave dates. For example, I'm going to write here the dates. So I write 26th January is my holiday, 15th August is my holiday, and then maybe Christmas is my holiday. 3 days mandatory, right? So what I will do, this is how you will do. Network days, start date, end date. Now when I was learning this function, because I actually got this holiday, the use of this holiday, after trying actually very hard, I was finding the solution, because what I used to do is, and even in fact if you would also do the same thing, if you have 3 holidays, you may think that I will go and write here 3 holidays, sort of that. So when you press enter, you don't find any change in the number. This is also 261. So I had a very hard time in actually finding out the proper use of this parameter. I saw internet also long time back, I mean. So how you go and select this, basically you don't write here the holiday numbers because that will not work. You have to select those dates like this. That's it, guys. So now you have the total working days in a year, Monday to Friday excluding your. Now the question comes, what if I work on Saturday? You know, maybe my company says that I have to work Monday to Saturday, or maybe I have a different holidays, Monday, Tuesday, right? So in that case, what I'm supposed to do? Then network days won't work because network days by default picks up the Saturday, Sunday. You can't do anything in that. So if my company works, let's say 6 days a week, right? Then time to change the company, of course. But till the time you are there, how many working days you have, okay, in this year, excluding Sunday. That's it. Or any day. Network days, let's use the international one. Start date, end date, and there we go, weekend. This is the additional parameter you have, right? So I say my start date, this is my start date, comma, end date, this is my end date. And now the moment you press comma, you start seeing here the different dates. I mean the weekends, right? So this is where you need to target. Now let's say I say I have only Sunday I want to exclude, so just select that. 11 would automatically come. Do you have any holidays? Well, if you have the holidays, nice. Sorry, I should be comma. If you have the holidays, you can select the holidays also. Right now I'm just leaving this part as it is. This is an optional parameter. If you don't have a holidays, you can ignore that. So guys, if I exclude Saturday, Sunday, it's 261. If I exclude Sunday, it's 313. So you have now the solution to every problem. Now anytime you want to check the working days, you're making a salary slip of somebody or whatever, this is very easy for you now. Okay. Now the question which I asked you before this, what if you want to check that after 10 days from now, what would be the, so what will be the date after, let's say 10 days from now? Ignore or exclude whatever Saturday and Sunday, right? Because I know if you just want to count the date after the 10 days, it's very easy. You can just go and add the 10. But what if I have this criteria, Saturday and Sunday, I want to exclude? Then you please go and write here work day. Work day, start date is, let's say today is my, what is the today date? This is my date, right? So I select 29, days 10. You have the holiday, you can select the holidays also. Let's go and press enter. So what is the date? Now you can see this happens, you know, when you use the formulas, you don't get the date here. So I hope now you know that what you have to do, right? Because if you do not know, then you know you will run here and there and asking people that, look, I am writing the formula but the date is not coming. Whereas if you know that actually this is, the dates are stored as number, you know that this 4321 is what. It's just that you need to change the formatting. So I simply go in the format cells or right click and go to the format cell and choose the date. So let's say I use this date, short date. It says 11th of May. You can check that, right? 11th of May, if I open my calendar. So now you can see today is 29th, Sunday. So I go and add 10 to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then six, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? I have not added 5 and 6, and this is what you're getting. And again, same thing, if you want to ignore Saturday only and you want to check 10 days from now but excluding the Saturday, you can go and say Workday International. So this is my start date and how many days I need. So I need 10 days. Weekend, ignore these dates. So you can ignore Friday, Saturday, you can ignore Sunday also. I mean, it sort of depends, what you want to do. So then we have a new date. So this date, let's go and format this. So these are some of the very, very important functions which you should know. Workday and then Workday International, right? Now sometime guys, this also happens, suppose you are making some trend, month on month, and so what you have written, you have said that this is my, let's say, the start date and this is my end date, right? Now I want to actually calculate something, I don't know, but I just want the 1st of January here, and then I want here the 31st of January, right? So now how we can do this? I mean, now you won't go and start writing manually everything, like this is now 2 by 1, 1st of February, then 3 by 1, right? Can we not make this dynamic? I mean, can we not just go and use some formula, and at the same time here also it should come automatically. I mean, the end of the month should the end of the date, what is the end date of that month, this also I want should come automatically, right? So let's go and do that. Let's see how we can do. The very first thing which I will do is, so this is my date, right? Right click, this time let's do this using the format cells. So give it a day, some another formatting, maybe this one, right? That's how it is. Please double click. So we have the date, right? And you also see one thing guys, that the dates are always aligned to the right side. If you just go and increase the width of this, you see, and I told you that. So now the first thing is, we have a formula here which can calculate the end date as well. You don't have to use your brain. 30 days, should I add 30, 31, 28, 29? We have a formula. What is that formula? You need the date equals to e-date, start date, and the month. What is my start date? This. What is the month? I mean, how many months? 0. Sorry, 1. What it says? 1st of February, right? So what is the next thing you can do? Obviously, so that means this will take you to the very first day of the next month. So can we not subtract -1 from it? We have the date. Simple. Now how to add, how to make sure that when you drag the formula here, it should be February 1st. So e-date, start date, month 1. That's it. So when you drag this, this is what you get. I'm getting here all the months. So e-date is what? You can say end date also. So it actually, since I'm adding only 111, it is basically adding 1 month, and it is automatically calculating the end of the month and going in the first day of the next month. And this is what I needed it. So same way what I did, because e-date gives me the last date, the first day of the next month, so I can subtract -1 from it, isn't it? And if I go and drag this, that's what I get, right? You can also go and do the same formatting. Let me do and double click on the paintbrush, so we can go and that's all. So formatting you can do. So simple. So e-date is a very good function. So I go and write here e-date. let's calculate the end of the date. Now there is another function guys which is called end of month. Returns the serial day of the last day of the month before or after a specified number of months. Now this is not going to return the first day of the next month. This is going to return the last day of the current month. This exactly, we should use this instead of this here, right? E-date is fine in this case because here I want to jump from one month to the next month, but here I don't want to jump. I want to remain in that month. So I say start date and I say I want the month 0. So you have some date. Let's go and paintbrush this. We got it. So you can use the end of the month also instead of the e-date. That's a good choice if you want to end of the month. EOMONTH, right? So these are the functions. You should know it. They are very important. Okay, now since we know that the dates are always stored as number, sometime what happens guys, dates comes in the form of text and then it creates a problem in using the VLOOKUP. For example, just imagine that this date actually is not a number, right? So I go and let's say put the apostrophe here, single quote. Now you see that they are moving to the left side, right? So let's say this is how the dates are coming, right? And this is also now showing false because this is not a number. If I just go and put this in the middle, that's how nobody can say that whether this is a date or a number until you apply the formula, right? So if you are using the dates which are stored in Excel as a text and on the other side in your main table they are stored as number, then how you can overcome this challenge? Because VLOOKUP not only creates the problem when you don't have you have a space issue. That space issue can be sorted out with trim, but what about the formatting issue? This you never did before, right? So I go and say that look up this in this table, but we will not get the value because this is a number and this is a text. So after when you do the research on this, and when you found that actually the issue is with the formatting part, now you will go and convert this date to a number to make this work, or convert this number date to a text. But you will not go in the reverse direction, because when dates are supposed to be numbers, let's keep them the numbers. Why would you go and do the wrong thing? Now how to convert this? There are several ways of doing it. I told you, if you want to convert a number back to number, if it is stored as text, you can multiply it with 1, right? Or you can put the double hyphen also. For example, I go and insert the column here. Now I see that this multiply by 1, and now I go and drag this like this, right? Now you can see that it's moved to the right side. You can also go and check. You can put the formula also, is number is coming true. Or what is the another method? The another method is that you can select this and you can go to the general. It should give you some number. Is it giving? It's not, because it is not a number, it is a text, right? But if you go and just select this and go to its general property, you find that the numbers are coming here. This is the another method, right? The another solution is you can say equals to double hyphen, right? This is also one of the methods, right? It's a funny method, but that's how you can do that. Just double hyphen. I don't know what is the logic. You just go and use the double hyphen and the dates are there, right? The another formula which you should know, it's called date value. This is a date function now. Now what the date value does is, it converts the date. If the date is stored as text, it converts it back to a number. Look at this. But if you're going to use this function on a date which is already a number, you will have a problem. For example, I say date value. Now you know that this is your number, right? This formula won't work, right? So when you go and write this function, it says that the date text. So the date has to be text. If the date is not text, it won't work. So this is the another method. Now you don't have to convert this back to a number. I mean, you can change this to a date also formatting, because formatting never changes the originality of this number. I hope we are clear on that. Now, I mean, if I say short date, I hope you don't think that this is gonna be now a text. No, it is not. It still remains the number only. It's just that in the back end it is a date, but I mean it is a number, but in the front part, if you want to see date as date, you can go and change the formatting. But it does not matter. I mean, even if you still go and use the VLOOKUP now from here, from this column, let's say, or from this column, this will be picked up, because ultimately if you go to the general tab of this is also a number, guys, isn't it? So what is a big deal, right? So I simply go and now say that VLOOKUP, and I change this table. So I'm going to keep the table from here, my first leftmost column, and this is going to be my 3. This is how you work with the dates. So anytime if you have a problem, the date is coming in the form of text, you have the several ways of converting that date to a number. Okay. Now, the next thing which we want to do is, we want to learn the time functions also, because when you have a date in the data, you may have numbers also. You may have time also. So let me rename this time. This is your date, and this is your date. So now, guys, when you insert the time, how you insert the time? You write like this, you know, colon, and that's how the date, the time, I mean, gets inserted. If you go and write, some people also prefer this system, 24-hour system, 1800, that means 6 p.m. This is going to be, you know, AM, sort of that. Now, so when you write 6 and when you write 6:0, I hope this is clear to us that this is just a whole number, this is a time, right? Now what happens if you go to the general tab of this time, you see that how Excel stores the time. I click on the general. Can you see that? Number is coming, but a very small number. Number is coming, that means it is a number. I mean, time is also a number. But now what is the calculation of this 0.25? Because in the date we saw there is a calendar which date follows. But in the time, what is the procedure? So see this. They say that, Excel says that in a day we have 24 hours. So if I have to see that what is the contribution of this 6 a.m. 6, because I have just written 6, I haven't written 18. 6 a.m. So 6 a.m. is what? 6 a.m. is simply 6 by 24, you know. That's how you can check the proportionate. So 6 by 24 will make it what? 25% of the day, right? So when you sleep at midnight 12 and you wake up at 6, that means you have covered the 25% of the day. So this 25 is coming due to this. Now what if I write 18? 18 means you have covered almost the entire day. Not the entire day, but you know, still more than half, I think. So you check what is it in the general tab, I mean which number it has. 75% actually it is, right? So 18 by 24, 75. That's how it is. Now what if you want to check that, okay, so 18 hours 30 minutes is going to be what? I mean, what would be the contribution if I have to cross check? In the general tab, this is just for, I'm telling you these things so that you should never get confused in doing the calculations, okay? Otherwise, these things generally, I mean, you're not gonna use these things in your day-to-day life. I mean, there you directly use the functions, but if you get stuck somewhere, if some time is not coming, date is not coming, you know, some conversion issue, formatting issue, at least with these kind of concepts clear in you know, if you have, then it will be easy for you to sort out the things. So now it is coming 0.77. Now let's go and check that. Now guys, you know, 18 hours is 18 by 24, right? And we have 0.75. Now what is the 30 minutes? 30 minutes, now obviously 30 minutes also has some contribution to the entire day. So we can convert the 32 hour by dividing it by 60, simple maths. Because in 1 hour you have 60 minutes. So in 30 minutes, if I have to check how many hours I have, I'll divide it by 60 because I want to reduce the number, right? So I have 0.5 hours, which is correct, half of the 1 hour, right? But so 0.5 is finally what? It's the hour. Now this, so once I have converted the minutes into hour, I go and further divided it by 24 to check the contribution. So 0.5 hours contribution to the entire day is 0.02%. Not point, I mean, when you go and convert this to a percentage, it's 2% actually if you multiply it with 100, which makes sense also because it's just 30 minutes. So this and this, when you add, you have this 0.77 number, right? So similarly, if you say, okay, so if I have 18 hours 30 minutes and 20 seconds, then you go and divide 20 by 3600 first. First you convert 20 by 60 into minute, and then minute is further will be divided by 60 to get the hours, and then that hour contribution will be checked by dividing it with the 24, right? So this is how, I mean, I'm just trying to explain you that whenever you deal with the time, you'll always find the decimal numbers, and these numbers has some calculation concept. They are not randomly coming. So we have some functions here, important functions: hour, minute, seconds, and then time, and then time value also. For example, I press Ctrl Shift colon. I got my time 13:32:00. Let me change this to 04, let's say. Now I can go and change the formatting also. I want to see the seconds also, so you can use this one, or right click and you can do that as well. Now anytime if you know, if you are in a situation where you want to extract the hour, you can go and use the hour. If you want to get the minutes, you can use the minute. So minute is going to be extracted, and if you go and use the seconds, you can have the seconds. So 13:32:04, you know, this is how it is. If you go and write here time, what do you mean by the time? You can also create a time. I say, let's say 16 hours 17 minutes and 3 seconds. You have the date, you have the time. Change the formatting to HHMMSS, so use this time, or right click and go to the format cells. Then that's how it is, right? Now the question is, for example, what is the time after, let's say, 20 minutes from C4 time? You know, if you want to check how you can do that, so you go and write time. Hour remains same, so I will capture the hour 13, I'll capture the minute also, and in the minute I'll add 20, and then I go and write here second. So I have my time here as 1:52. This is so easy, guys, with this function, right? If you have to make the intervals, for example, you are making some intraday report, a timetable, that interval, half an hour interval, you know how many calls have landed on your IVR. So let's say you write, you start your day from 12 midnight. Okay, so I'm not going to consider seconds. Let's create the 30 minutes of interval. Now you can't write like this, you know, plus 30. Why it's showing you 12? Because in the background what is happening, this is your number and it's gonna be in decimals, we know that, 0.5. okay, so basically it's not midnight, it's 50%, so that means it's actually 12 afternoon. I go and write here 00, maybe, let's say. So we have here, you can see we have here 0, right? So now my point is that when you want to add, let's say the next interval is 0030, you know, and then so you want to see how many calls answered here from 00 to 030, and then 00, then it's going to be 1 a.m. in the morning, then 1:30, you know. So can we not just go and drag this and see, because it's difficult for me to write there, you know, all these intervals, 96 intervals manually. So you can see what I did is I created basically, so let's say I've created 2 time formats here, and I go and drag this. So Excel has picked up all the intervals automatically. So I have this all day list with me now, and this will go till 11:30. That is how it is. So I just entered this, and then rest automatically follows, right? If I have to create let's say 15 minutes interval, so I can go and create this 15. I select this and I can drag this now. So now you can see we have 15, 30, 45. So I mean, this is the fill series will pick up the times. This is, I'm just telling you the trick. Don't get into those time calculations. Just write the first entry, second entry, and then drag it. Excel will create the series. Like for example, when you go and write here 1 and 2, what happens? Excel creates the series, you know. So let's say if I write here 101 and I write here 102 and I select this and I go and drag this, you get the series, right? So that same way, this is how it happens. So same way we have a time value also function. If you have a time in the form of text, if you go and apply the time value on this, now you know this time is a number, you will get the error. But if you have a time stored in the form of text, you know, you can use this function. It is going to return you a number format of the time. So this is how, guys, date and time functions work. This is also very helpful in the dashboards, because sometimes, you know, you have the dates only in your, we will do this later. So just telling you still, I mean, you have a date in the dashboard, only the dates are coming, and your organization says that we need the month on month performance, not the date wise, or maybe the weekly performance. So from the date you can calculate the week numbers also, or the days also, Monday to Monday business, how it is going, you know, and all that stuff, right? So now for example, if you have let's say a date and time together, I use the now function. Now you want to separate the date and you want to separate the time. How will you do this? If you go and say equals to, and when you go to the general tab of this is what you will find. a number also coming, decimal also coming, and I think you know why it is coming, right? 43291 for the date and 0.56876 for 13 hours 39 minutes. But I want to separate them. Now to separate this looks challenging, but to separate this should not be a challenge, because but actually if you can separate this, you can separate this also, because both are same. So I'll use this thing so that you can understand. Now your job is to extract only 43219. So if you extract 43219, you will get the date. Simple. And if you can extract 0.56876, that means you are actually able to extract the time. So now I want to tell you a couple of very important formulas, not just from the date and time perspective, but otherwise also you can use them in the conditional formattings also. You can use them. The assignment which I forwarded you, it has this function also. So the first thing is I'm going to talk about round, round up and round down, and then more. Guys, round function is what? If you have a number in decimal, let's say this is your number, right? I say round this number to a 0 digit. What will happen? You will get a round number because the last digit was greater than, this last number 6 was greater than 5. So you have here round number. Now what if you do not want the decimal part at all? Okay, so what you do? I use a round down. Go in this cell and say 0. Can you see that? It is going to remove the decimals. This function works on this greater than 5. If the decimal number is greater than 5, the last number, add 1. If less than 5, then do not add anything. No addition. Right? This is something I think we already know this, but in the form of formula now, this is how it is. So I write here greater than 1, add plus 1. If it is less than 5, greater than and equals to 5, I mean, less than 5, no addition. I mean, when you do the round up. Okay. So what if I want 4, 3 and this 219, round up, use this and 0, number of digits I mean. You can see you have got here 43220. Now what is the difference between this and this? Basically I show you this, let's say I write here 3.3, right? Let's do this way. Now 3.3 is what? If you round it by 0 digit, you'll get the 3, right? But if you go and change this 3.5 or 6 or 7 or 8, this is going to round, right? You'll get the greater number. What is round up? When you use the round up, because it is a round up, it always round up the number. It is always going to increase the number. So even if you have here 3.2, you can see, though this is going to calculate the number according to the greater than equals to 5 or less than 5, but this is always going to give you the up number. So same way you have a round down. This picks up the number and returns the before decimal. So this means that if I go here and write 3.9, even then you won't find round down changed. It doesn't matter, right? So after decimal does not matter. And this round up is what? Always add 1 to the whole number. We have no clause of greater than 5 and equals to 5. Okay, now this is the concept actually I'm going to use here. Now you see, if I can use here round down because I need only the date 43219. Then I go to the date format and just go and write here date. Simple guys, you have the date here. There's no time coming, isn't it? So that means if I go and say round down, go here in this date and time and 0. What you got? Where is your time? Your time is gone. You can see here. The moment you go in the custom formatting to remove this 00, because 00 is nothing, and you just go and write here date, you see that you are able to extract the date. So many guys in MIS, they know that round down let's use, but they don't know actually what is happening in the background, but they're just using it. But now you know it, that how basically it is happening. Now there's another function. Some people also use the mod. See this mod number, and what I want to write in the divisor, I mean this numbers to be divided with what, I say 1. Sorry, wait a second. So first this is clear. Now let's go to the mod function. I'll just first explain you what is mod. You know the normal division, 2 by, if I write 2 by 2, what will be the answer? 0, right? But if you say mod 2 by 2, what will be the answer? 0. If I say 2 by 2, you'll get 1. My mistake, because 2 by 2 is what? It tells you actually what is the, in the quotient. When you divide 2 by 2, 2 multiply by 1 into 2, and that's all. But what is the mod? Mod actually tells you about the remainder. The remainder, what you want to get in the remainder. Number and divisor. So if I say 4 divided by 2, you might be thinking the answer would come as 2. But the answer is 0. Why? Because in the remainder, you won't get anything. Because 4 is, even number, and even numbers are, whenever we divide them with the 2, we have the answer as 0. So if I say mod 4 by 3, what will be the answer? 1, because remainder is 1. It is a remainder, remember, not a quotient. So when you go and divide 4 by 3, 3 1 the 3, and in the remainder 4 minus 3 is 1. So this is very useful. I'll tell you how. If you go and divide this number with 1, what will happen? 1 is the only number which can be multiplied with any number and the result will remain the same. We know that. Similarly, 1 is the number which can be divided with any whole number. You can divide 16 by 1. What will happen? 1 into 16 comes 16, remainder is 0. You can divide any number, but when you divide a number which is actually a decimal number, what will happen? If I divide 3.9 with 1, what will happen? If I press enter, what will be the value? No idea? (3.9) divided by 1, what is the remainder? What will you get in the remainder? You will get 0.9, right? So another method to extract the decimals. So same way, I go and say mod, use this, divide it by 1, because 1 is divisible by all. What is left? You can see I get the date as 1900, 0 January. 0 January is nothing, it's 0, because the first date is 1st January 1900. So if you go and change this to time, the time counts. Actually you did this, mod, select this and say divided by 1, and this is what you'll get, 0.5687, right? So this is how, anytime you have a problem in extracting the time or the date from the date time, please use the round down and the mod. Round down you can use because it returns the whole number only, so you can use it, use that to extract the date, and to extract the time you can use the mod function, because mod, when you divide any number with the 1, right, if it is a decimal, let's say, only the decimal portion will be left, because the whole number is always divisible, so remainder will always come as 0. So if you go and write here that mod 9 comma 1, what will be the remainder? Oh, always 0, because 1 is the only number which is divisible with every number. But in case of decimal remains there and the whole number goes off, and this is the logic we use actually in the date and the time formats. So this was a very small session on the date and the time, but this is all you should know when you deal with the dates and the time. So I'll forward you this file. Alright guys, so let's meet in the next tutorial. Thank you so much. Bye bye.